Hello, hello. See if this will kick in. Supposedly, everybody set it up for me in the back of in the production room. So this is supposed to be working. I don't know if it is. We'll find out. What's up, Fred? Hey, I digged the writing Anubit. I don't know if you did it. I assume you did it on the back of a certain vehicle. That was pretty cool. I like that. So it's going to be a quick one today. It is definitely a working lull around the office here. Yesterday was kind of a bit of a whirlwind, but honestly, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Fred said maybe I did, maybe I didn't. So anyway, yeah, we banged out quite a bit yesterday. Tanya picked up she did most of the heavy lifting. Yeah, I'm kind of floored. I'm kind of floored at how quickly we work around here. With that said, nothing can happen fast enough. I mean, I've got quite a laundry list of people waiting for the buy button, or we'll call it the GACN. They're waiting on that. That is, and I hate putting people off, but it's like, what can I do? Because it's done when it's done, and there's been some setbacks. So not that they're hard obstacles, but just challenges to overcome. So challenges include, but not limited to, hardware front, firewall front, extra security, IT. All of that has been stepped up, making sure that on a logistical standpoint with hardware, that we're both fast and secure, which honestly, there's a lot of extra attention to detail, and man, is there a lot of cash going out just to facilitate this and do it right. So that's it's a challenge. So we have to set up on multiple fronts, because we don't we're a small studio development house. So what are we? We're about everything. We have to all wear a lot of hats around here. So it's when it comes to IT and security, we do we have like level 3 security. We have to do before we go live. We always run it through an independent penetration and audit. Any word on introduction video to Anubit? Yeah. We have for other projects we've worked on. We have, but I don't have any right now for Anubit. That's a great idea. I've got on a business standpoint, we've been working really hard on projections. Projections let us know, because we're looking at costs associated with. Hold on 1 second. Hello. Hey, Mario. Legal just walked in. Everyone else went out to lunch, so it's pretty much just me in the office. Like everybody else, I had pizza last night, so I brought in my snacks. Ah, you look sharp.
All day in court.
All day in court. All fun. Anyway, so it's a lot of juggling things right now. So the hardware, on the software front, yesterday we had to do a middleman officially. But I'll tell you what, in one day the team put up a website, chose a name, opened up, submitted docs with the state and already has docs back and confirmed. We ordered Rush, and then has an EIN from the IRS. Has who we're working with for payment processing for both ACH and debit cards, and set up a bank account in 24 hours. So, yeah, that's a feat. It's the website's a little generic and vague, maybe intentionally. And we'll see. You know what? Honestly, the way that we're doing this, I know there's going to be quite a bit of interest, and it's something that anyone that's smart is going to be either trying to replicate what we do, or they will be trying to just license or pay us to, to use what we've developed. So on the development front, I mean, pretty much all the code's written. The KYC's all pretty much dialed in. The GACN was the easiest part. It actually, once we got the flow down, the way it does everything is just mind-boggling simple, but is really it's slick. So everything's gonna flow through on the back end, invisible. It all flows through Pancake Swap. So that's it's a wonderful tool on Binance, but we could always switch over and use another tool and another blockchain if we had to. So I've got my eye on Binance. They better treat us right while we choose them as a home. Coin price. I know some of you guys are wanting to buy in a little more. And you guys are talking about waiting for another dip. I don't know if there's going to be one. If there's some event, some mass sell-off or something, they'll drag the price down momentarily. But if you've seen how quickly Lola bounces back the price, she doesn't waste a lot of time. So don't hold your breath. You better be paying attention if you want to catch it at like some sort of, but the fluctuations are, at most $1. But usually quite less than that. And if they're more extreme than that, she's fast acting. So she's Johnny on the spot. So I wouldn't, just again, don't hold your breath. If you want to get in, a couple cents here or there isn't going to make a huge bit of difference. We will not be doubling the price or letting the price double, I should say. We won't let that happen until there's a major event. We consider issuing the GACN button to be significant and a major event and worthy. But we will try to keep it, we'll try to keep number one steady for you guys so that there's minor dips and Lola will recover them real quick. And every time here's the thing, as we hit some of these exchanges that we do have exchanges in our sites, don't get me wrong. I know for visibility, for traction, especially reaching the international market where exchanges are huge, that's going to be a big priority for us. But for now, it's like top priority is our GACN button. And I'm expecting the volume of that. Like, I think you guys are going to be floored how many people come through that. And that's the way mom and dad and your Uncle Joey and they can all get in through that with relative ease, much easier than the exchanges. Exchanges just put quite a bit of marketing everywhere, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of exchanges anyway. But we're going to have both. And both vehicles, and I think when they're presented side by side, I think more people, if they're in the know and we do it right, are going to opt for the GACN. I think that's the way you're going to want to push people. Bro, just go get it off the GACN. But for international, the exchanges will really help. And still no news. The latest release of the GACN. Hardware's set up and configured. We're still waiting on another security audit. We do independent third parties like penetration testing, so that still needs to happen um, uh, before we put anything public facing. On the coding front, we have to change a little bit because instead of going direct through Anubit, the processing is going to go through that middleman that we set up that you guys are somewhat in the know of. So we have to change a couple variables and do a couple redirects, and it's set up that it does it through API basically. Which is actually really nice because it kind of stands on its own. You know, we could easily, without having they don't have to license from a new Bitcoin. They can, if someone else wanted to use that service, it's its own plugin module now. So, but that had to be kind of retooled, and they're still putting the finishing touches. The UI is pretty much done. Like, it's honestly, you guys are gonna love it. It's slick. First flow is you sign up for an account right on the site. You submit your KYC, goes through Anubis ID. Once you have an account, it unlocks the GACN button. Once you go in there, decide how much you want to spend, you're filling out the forms in the plugin module we just developed through the middleman company, and it basically generates some points or credits for you guys. So, and then those credits on the next thing, it says, would you like to redeem those credits or those points rather, for Anubits? And you have the choice to select yes, and I recommend doing it. So it is a little bit of two-stage, but it allows us flexibility, and no one's card should be flagged because you're purchasing points. You're not directly purchasing Anubits with with your card purchase. You're purchasing points. So no one's card should be flagged as crypto. We think it's pretty elegant. It also gives us to be, that company can be used for gain credits, can be used for anything. So it's built very flexibly from a company and a coding standpoint, and the whole website is very nondescript. So anyway, you guys are in the loop because you're watching these videos. Puts you ahead of everybody else. Market tends to had a little update yesterday, which is good. The U.S. is trying to influence what goes on abroad on a crypto news standpoint. U.S. is trying to be a leader, but it's also not a leader. So trying to be a leader abroad when it's not a leader at home, when it comes to regulation. There's a lot of discussion. Should it be the commodities trading or securities trading? Who should regulate? After looking at both those agencies, I'm pretty sure that the answer is crypto does need some regulation. It should be regulated as its own new thing. They keep on trying to put it in a bucket with everything else, and it's because it's similar in this way or similar in that way. It's a new thing. It should be regulated on its own, and it should have its own set of rules. And those old, I don't want to call them corrupt, but those old institutions that have managed those other things, I don't think crypto needs all the bloat that comes with them. I think it should have its own new bloat. I think it should be regulated for what it is, and it is its own thing. So I think that's, I haven't discussed with legal, and Mario just walked in, but I've been reading a lot of info on upcoming regulation and who's gonna be regulating, and there's pros and cons with each, and none of them's a perfect fit. So so I think that as we grow and blow up and our influence and microphone gets bigger, I think that that's going to be our position, if I can convince legal to back me up on that. But one thing that I do agree with the naysayers and all the crypto haters out there is that we do need some regulation. And it will be good for a new Bitcoin, because I know that's how does it affect you guys. I think any regulation that happens ultimately will be good for us. We're doing things right, our business is right, liquidity is there, all the numbers add up, we're a legitimate company. Anything that forces legitimacy and good business practices to some degree, as long as it doesn't get too overbearing, I think is going to be very good for us, because there's going to be people who can't, when you shine a light on them, they scatter like roaches. And for us, I think I know we'll hold up to all the scrutiny. And the brighter that flashlight, the less people will have standing around us, because it's transparency. We're there as business model, as the coin health, like anything that's how in a world, like, are there fake stocks? Do people put out scam stocks? You don't hear about that.
No.
It doesn't happen. It shouldn't never be allowed to happen. And the reality is, right now, anybody can copy a popular Inu token and change like 2 lines of code if they're in the know. Build a quick website. Building website when you have a good team is like, we built one yesterday in a day. But virtually anybody can do it. And the problem is, I think it's the same people submitting multiple coins and rug pulling. And if those guys are pulling 100K a week and then rug pulling, they're making 400 grand a month just making coins, getting suckers, and then pulling the legs out from under everyone. And they don't even have to do anything. They copy the actual cost for them to deploy their thing could be like, like not even less than, because they're buying Twitter bots, they're building a quick website, they're coming up with some theme, and they're deploying the contract to the BNB blockchain, and their actual cost is, let's say it's 10 G's and they're pulling in 100, they're profiting 90K in a week as a one-man show. Of course, there's a bunch of scammers out there. There's people that have no ethics, and so yeah, some regulations needed. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. You should have to be somewhat authenticated just to deploy. I mean, it can't be. It literally is just a free for all right now. And as more people catch on, I think it's only going to get worse until some regulation comes down. I see the new rate of tokens appearing on the list, and even though there's been crypto winter and all that, it's staggering the number of new tokens that are birthed every single day, as everyone's getting in. So I don't want to go on forever. I can ramble. So we're about 20 minutes in. If there's any questions you guys have going into the weekend, it's Friday, where we're going to be working all weekend to do polish and make sure that everything's dialed in. I don't think we'll be launching it on Monday because I'm not trying to rush it, and I need security audits to come in to make sure that I want at least two independent audits coming in for penetration testing. And all these things don't happen cheap or free or fast. So my best guess as of right now is a Wednesday release, best guess. For that gives you, if you're looking for the right dip to try to buy in or something like that, it gives you the best guess window to work with. And I will reiterate this again, the price is going to double. It could go far higher. I will try not to let it. We want it going just double, and so look for about $10 to $11 range. And if it goes $9, it'll be $9.50, and then go right low and push it right back up. She's been, yesterday, if you didn't know, she tightened the reins on growth, the highest I've seen since day one. Like, she was not letting much slip through. She was trying to keep the coin price. I know a lot of people are like, man, it's going so high, I want to buy more, but and she was working hard, but it's still above $5, and that's fine. It's right in the window that we're hoping for, right around the $5 range. So look for it, $5 to $5.50 ballpark. If it spikes up like yesterday, I think it got up to like $5.70 something, almost $5.80. But she's pretty much dialed in. So once we're up above 10, it really is no more difficult for her to keep it right there. It's the same thing. As our liquidity pool gets bigger, it just becomes a little slower moving. With volume though, we're gonna What would be the price to go to now if you just stopped her? About 20. Yeah, about 20. She'd be sitting 20 and as a stable 20 if she wasn't keeping it, down. I mean, honestly, this week we could have let it double, but there's no major event to justify it. It's one thing I don't like about crypto is you have a team that manages this project, and unlike you have to have faith in us to a certain degree because we do have tools to help. Obviously, we want coin health. That's number one priority. We never want it to I don't want to go wild in any one direction. I want it very steady as she goes. And our long-term plan is high price, high liquidity underneath it, lots of holders, lots of transactions. You'll see our price will be fluctuating with the ecosystem we're building. It'll fluctuate a little bit, but very little as people are circulating coin in and out of their wallets. It's going to be very much used as a transactional thing. We are already onboarding merchants on the back end, even though we're not even done with our system yet. We are 100% onboarding people and getting pledges and commitments for the merchant network. And places that you like, everyone thinks, okay, well, a burger place, yeah, they're signing up. Chicken places, fast food, or all that kind of stuff is signing up. But so are gas stations, so are convenience stores, so are like a print shop where you print things. So are, I mean, vendors, oil change. You're gonna see our network of isn't just gonna be one huge name chain or a huge car dealership. We're going for a very diverse, robust network. It's going to be like nothing anybody has ever seen before. Because pretty much everybody else just starts out, they get one chain and they're kind of done. And there's not a lot of vested interest from a coin doing that because they accept all kinds of coins. It's just, we're not trying to make money off of charging, like processing fees and stuff like that. We're trying to make it through coin health and inherent blockchain fees of 1 and 2%. Other people have a completely different business model, and it's why that crypto has been slow to replace currency. It's been really good at replacing as an investment vehicle for like stocks, but slow for currency. Secrets. Nothing I can disclose, Penguin. Any future hints for other items further down the line is the question. Yes, there is a lot planned. And yes, I have secrets, and they're secrets for a reason because everything at the right time. And there is a balance between revealing things when the time is right and revealing too early, because if I reveal something and we decide to revise that or change our plans or reprioritize and it becomes back burner and something else emerges as a hotter priority, I have to have on our end enough time, energy, and dollars allocated to that it would take a Herculean event to shift our flow. With that said, we are nimble. We're willing to change on a dime and do things like very quickly. But generally speaking, we have a game plan, and if you take like a window, it's like driving through the fog. We know how much fog there is. We got to drive through. Beyond that, it's kind of the opposite. You only have so much visibility, and everything after that is a little foggy in the sense that we have ideas of where we're going to go. So long term, we have not started on our own blockchain yet. We have not started on our own exchange yet. Those projects have not been initiated. Are those projects that I think are going to be really challenging for this group? Not as much as you might think. I get to be the spokesman in a lot of way for some of the most talented people that I've met in my lifetime, and I've been lucky enough to work with them. And when you have like I consider there's two types of people. There's the hard workers, and then there's the talented people, right? And usually the super talented people aren't the hardest workers, right? And sometimes the hardest workers aren't the most talented people, but they're willing to grind. Everyone that I'm associated with is literally both, and that's why they're beasts. Omar is probably he's our lead developer. He's also my business partner, and I've never met anyone like him. He is like a Terminator. He loves to work, which I love to work too. I love getting things that I don't consider this work though. He doesn't either. He loves, like, what would you be doing if you went home? Well, I'd be creating things. I'd be writing code. Like, might as well do it here. That the office has food, and it's like, it's a great environment. So yeah, a lot of time spent in the office. It's not. This is where we spend our time. We get to, So, yeah. So I'm not worried about like blockchain exchange, or whether it's the other thing is some of the stuff we create, like, we create it thinking that it'll just be a cool tool for us, and then we have other people reaching out to us wanting to use some of the tools we make. So in that sense, we have to build supportive services. Even our merchant thing, like just going through hardware for the Anubit payment gateway system, because I want them. We're going to do it with QR code, and you're going to use our app. The truth is, I need some of this paperwork to come, because Tanya's our best app developer we have. She's stellar. Carly Ray does a fantastic job with app development. So I need to have her working more on that front. Now that she busted out that website, and I think we've submitted our CMC form for the umpteenth time. So pre-production images of the wallet. I want to talk about the wallet. We developed a whole wallet, but we kind of it's been something that is, I sigh, right? Because that's one of the great things. We sunk time, energy, and money into developing our own wallet. There's already MetaMask and Trust Wallet out there. They do a good enough job. And with everything that's gone on in crypto, well, I know we can keep people's coins secure and we wouldn't over leverage them. I just read another thing today that, it was Vault or Voyager or one of these. They're risking your personal crypto when you check it in with them. They're using that to take out loans against and to do all kinds of things. So we put the pause on it. We're not going to be releasing our own wallet at this time. We're going to be integrating with focus on having seamless integration with MetaMask and Trust Wallet as cooperating with our app, so that we'll pull that and use that transactionally with just a pop-up where people have to hit accept basically within those applications. So yeah, it's just something that I don't want people to have fear that they have to check their crypto in with us, and versus keeping in the safety of their, MetaMask or their Trust Wallet. I want people to be able to use what's comfortable to them. And I'm not saying that we won't go back and circle back and release our wallet, but it's something that we want. I got to pay attention to what's going on in the industry, and I do not like what I see with all these places that have their own private wallets. So you got to send your tokens to trust them. I don't like that, and so for us, it's just I think it's a great idea, but until temperature changes with people having faith in third-party companies and trusting their crypto with them. Right now, I want to swim downstream. I don't want to swim against the current. So I prefer more focus overall on the project. The wallet can come with it. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the wallet's pretty much done, but yeah. So we'll be working with existing wallets versus our own wallet. It still has all the benefits. Honestly, on the plus side, is our system works. You keep your coin in your own private wallets and you don't need to use ours, and it still works seamlessly. And I think that we're going to spin that as a huge positive for those that understand how significant that is, versus staking and all the other things that, even when you send your coin to the exchange, guess what? You're risking your coin because they can lock you in, and then they can freeze everything. And so we won't be able to freeze anything. How we communicate that advantage to the general public in a way that non-nerds can understand as significant or important, we're going to have to work on. Because changing our language from nerd speak to layperson is a bit of a challenge. It's a challenge for me because people look at me puzzled all the time, like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, I gotta remember. I'm just, not that I need to dumb it down. We all have our strengths, and not everyone thinks the same way. So, anyhow, any other questions? Shoot them on Telegram. It has been on our end, a hugely productive week. The coin is doing great. Everything is on track. It's just a little delays. I would say not before Wednesday. Do not look for before Wednesday. That gives you guys all weekend to look at the price, and share it now. Anyone you like. I can tell you that the window is closing very quickly. As I don't know what obstacles we have left. I can't anticipate that, but I think we've conquered them. And we're on our way. So anyone you guys really like, walk them through how to do it on PancakeSwap before it doubles. Not that I want people to just buy in at 5. I'm going to double it to 10, and then they cash right out. If they're holders, get them in before we have a doubling. It gives them more multiples. Hopefully, you guys know that. Keep people in as long as you can, at least until we get the liquidity up. As you can see on our chart, there's green lines and red lines. People are cashing in, cashing out, and the ones that cash out, all you got to do is, if you know them, like if you bring in a buddy and he cashes out at $5, once we hit 10, just poke him on the shoulder and laugh at him a little bit. We found that that's the best medicine is when you're like, hey, should have waited a little longer. Should have been in Telegram, should have been in the stream to pay attention. So with that, I will leave you guys for the rest of the Friday. We'll be in Telegram, so we're not going anywhere. We'll be working, and then we'll be here on the weekend. Not sure how much we'll be on social media because we're just trying to grind it away and get this done, get all the polish done and all the testing done and any bugs worked out. And the bug list is pretty small right now, but there's just a couple quality of life things we got to polish before we release it to you guys. And once we do release it, I'm going to count on you guys sending to everybody to get in, and they're going to want to get in. I know like, oh, it's going to go up to $10. $10 is only just a milestone. I'm willing to let it go up if volume and liquidity increases the way that I think. I'm willing to let it go up further. I'm just not committed to it until I see where we're sitting. So I say let it go up because I'm willing to take the foot off the brake and let it go up further. So yeah, the 10 is not the end goal. I'm looking at Ethereum pricing. So that's where we're eyeballing right now. But I think we can do way better than that, to be honest. So anyway, guys, appreciate everyone. This stream will go in the books. They'll upload it as soon as they cut out anything that I sounded really dumb on, and we'll get it on YouTube. So appreciate you guys joining. Everyone have a great Friday and a great weekend, and